People have been finding crazy sneakers at Ross, and honestly, I want in. So for the next week, I'll be shopping entirely at Ross and seeing what I can find. At this point, I'm no stranger to Ross. About 12 years ago or so, I remember them opening up the first location in the Chicagoland area, in which the day of, I purchased a pair of Team Jordans that eventually fell apart on me. I mean, we all have been there. I was a young sneakerhead with not a lot of money and just excited I could wear something with the Jordan branding. But I'm happy to say that since then, things have changed. They actually have a decent selection of shoes and even some nice clothing apparel from time to time. In fact, this first Ross was looking pretty promising. I found a pair of Nike Dunk Lows the first time that I've seen this silhouette in stock at Ross. Of course, I found some basketball shoes, which is always a safe bet to find inside of Ross's. They also had these Converse All-Stars. This is a collaboration with Gore-Tex in a really nice olive colorway. This specific Ross had so many shoes, it was pretty insane. It could be pretty intimidating, and hey, if I skip over something, please let me know in the comments down below. I did find the ugliest pair of Nikes that I think I've ever seen, not a fan of those, and these Air Force One looking Nikes. It can be hard to find shoes in my size. When I tend to find really nice sneakers at Ross, they're usually insanely small or insanely big, and being a size 12, it's pretty unfortunate. I'm in that gray area that you don't see a lot of good stuff. But I guess that's kind of the allure of Ross. You never know what you're gonna stumble across. They had these Air Max Drifts, in which I dubbed the Hot Cheeto colorway. Not a big fan of these, and I'm pretty sure you can get them even cheaper online. And the fact is, a lot of these shoes are going so low under retail on sites like StockX that it's not the most exciting when you find them in Ross, because oftentimes they have them priced around that price or sometimes even more. And yeah, when it comes to clothing, you'll get a lot of like knockoff looking stuff that isn't particularly interesting. They did have these crazy Infinities, which came in this really nice Neapolitan colorway and some decent materials on there as well. They wanted $10 for this Harley Davidson cap, which is not a bad accessory for the price. They also had a bunch of Funko Pops on display, even Ja Rule, which I'm pretty sure is the guy who beefed with Eminem and got his career ruined appropriately. It's always nice to check out what home goods they have available, because you know I'm always looking for ways to spruce up my room and make it look better for the video backdrops. And finding anything too appealing today besides this one Yu-Gi-Oh poster, which absolutely went crazy. I remember watching it on 4Kids TV, and if you get that reference, shout out to you. Looks like my boy Mario had seen some better days. They had some Adidas running shoes that were honestly pretty comfortable, just not necessary for me. I've been slowly getting back into the hobby of running, so now every once in a while if I see a running shoe that captures my interest, I do go out of my way to try it on. The next Ross location is in downtown Chicago, specifically off of State Street, right next to the Macy's store. This is another store where they have a big stock in sneakers. Literally, we have some shoes lapping up on top of each other because there's that many. However, this is definitely a case of quantity over quality. I wasn't seeing a lot of anything here. However, when I turned around to the bigger shoes, I started to peep some really cool stuff. They had this Nike training sneaker that came in a really vibrant colorway, and this pair of Air Max Drifts that was in my size, and that was an honestly really nice colorway. They also had a pair of Reeboks, and low-key, I've been trying to hunt down a pair of Shaq's shoes, the one with the big pump basketball in front. I think those are iconic, and I remember having them when I was younger. Unfortunately, I've seen so many Trae Youngs at Ross, I don't think his shoes are moving like that. And shoes that do move a little better, but I do still see at Ross, are LaMelo Ball, and from time to time you even see LeBron's. This is a super hypnotic colorway that I low-key mess with. Too bad it wasn't in my size, or it would have been something I would have definitely considered. I really do enjoy hooping in the LeBron 21. I continue to browse the aisles looking for anything else that might be eye-catching. And you see a lot of Giannis shoes here as well, as they're constantly going on sale, especially online. You can get them for pretty insane prices. I believe this is a Damian Lillard X-Supply. I think it's his more budget-friendly basketball sneaker. Still a pretty cool looking shoe, and I'm a fan of the colorway. The shoes are often tied pretty weird, so it could be hard to show you guys the price, but they had those marked at $40. But look, as I was walking down this tight tunnel, Seriously, there was barely any room for me to walk down this aisle. The footage does not do it justice. I feel like I was bumping from side to side. They also had another pair of crazy infinities, this time in a dark colorway. These are also really fresh looking. I went over to where the jackets were because sometimes you can find them on clearance, especially as we're transitioning seasons right now, going from winter to spring. It's always a good idea to have foresight if you're trying to save on some money, buy items for the next season, the next time it comes around. On these end caps, it's pretty common to see the same sneaker over and over again. Makes you wonder how many pairs are actually being shipped to Ross. And how many pairs are they actually selling? Like, if I were these companies, I'm not sure why I would mass produce an item that really doesn't have that much traction. It's pretty often that you'll see jerseys here at Ross, and now they're starting to get in jorts, which is great for this upcoming season. Literally, Ross is a cheat code for jorts. A lot of them are priced $15 and under, and you can find some really high quality ones like this Lee pair right here. Now, do keep in mind that the jorts will go quick, so as soon as you see your local Ross start bringing them out, make sure to take full advantage of it and pick up any that you need for your wardrobe. This location off of State Street always has a bunch of jewelry on hand, and they even have some nice watches from time to time. I'm a big fan of G-Shocks, and I've copped a couple from Ross in the past. If you're lucky, you might even spot some Citizen and some Bulova watches heavily discounted from their retail prices. Honestly, nothing really worthwhile at this location, but not a bad idea to hit up, especially if you're looking to go to your first Ross. Our next location brings us to the west suburbs of Chicago, and let's see if they have anything notable here. As you guys know, it's straight to the sneaker section for me. I spotted some Nike running shoes right off the bat, nice vibrant orange color, and it has the lunar technology, which is pretty comfortable. I spotted some Jordan 2 lows in this orange and white colorway, huge size 18, and then some Trae Youngs, which were my size 12, in a pretty decent colorway, I might add. I was also pretty surprised to spot a pair of John Morant's. Then again, huge size 18. Heavily discounted though, so if you're a basketball player with huge 17, 18 size feet, make sure to pay a visit to this Ross's. You're gonna come up on some insane deals. They also had a pair of Jason Tatum's, then again in a huge size but heavily discounted, even further reduced from its price here at Ross. I haven't been a fan of any of Tatum's shoes, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not messing with the silhouette, and it doesn't really help that I don't particularly like him as a player. I think he's super talented, it's just he comes off as a little corny, I'm not gonna lie. Then I spotted these Jordan 1s, not quite. I think this is the Jordan Access, some weird name like that. You know how Jordan brand has so many weird spin-offs. I spotted these Nike runners, and low-key, these gave me Off-White vibes. They had them priced at $60 and they were insanely comfortable underfoot. Out of all of our Rosses, this was the first time I was actually tempted on buying a sneaker because I knew they would make great running shoes. But I ended up passing on those because I wasn't the biggest fan of the colorway. Please let me know down below if you would have copped those for yourself personally. They also had some blazers in this white and orange colorway. Some Under Armours, very reminiscent of like the Gel Kayanos that are so trendy right now. And we got the Puerto Rican dad shoes. Oh my goodness, I was so tempted. I should have added those to the collection. I tweaked, my bad y'all. But yeah, like I said, a lot of hit or miss stuff here and a lot of shoes that are clearly imitations of something else. Even these Jordans had me confused. I thought they were Jordan 14s at first, but no, it's just a Team Jordan model. Y'all remember when these Adidas clogs were taking over because everyone was calling them alternatives to foam runners. Now with foam runner prices being so cheap, there's really no reason to even buy those. And I know a lot of people will opt to not even wear stuff that has anything to do with Kanye, which after his recent behavior, I can't blame them. But the first really crazy find was this pair of Nike Dunk lows. I believe this is the Honeydew colorway, and these are pretty fire. They had them priced at $60, which is about what they're going for, so nothing really worthwhile in terms of flipping or adding to the collection because they were a woman's size that someone had misplaced in the men's aisle, which I can understand why. They were a huge size 11. Anyways, a solid showing from this Ross, and now we're on to the next location. Sometimes Ross isn't half bad, especially if you're looking for fragrances. You can find some classics and staples there for pretty good prices. And if you have any expectations of any sort of organization shopping at a Ross, just throw those out the window. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna lie, it was looking pretty slim here at this Ross that had this pair of very strange Converse-esque shoes with hardly any traction that looked like they were worn, and they had sheep print on them. I don't even know where to begin with that. They had some not Birkenstocks, and they had a pair of dress shoes, which is honestly not a bad idea. If you're looking for a cheap dress shoe fast, just head over to a Ross. You can often find them on sale for under 20 bucks. Which, hey, I know fast fashion is not the best, but sometimes you're on a budget and you're on a hurry. You're just trying to find something that fits the purpose. They also had this strange pair of Doc Marten mules that wasn't half bad. They were my size, but honestly, they didn't look like something that I'd wear personally. This store also had a pair of John Morants, this time in the zombie colorway, and just a huge size, like every single time that we've seen them. Another pair of Jordan 2 lows, just like the last location, and they had these Adidas Ultra Boosts. This time around though, they had a pair of Tatum 2s, which look even worse than the ones if you ask me. And come on, just tell me this sneaker is not knocking off the New Balance 550. I don't even know how they're ducking lawsuits with that, especially since Bape got caught after using all Nike's designs. Speaking of Nike, they had these Nike LD 1000s, I believe, and this was a pretty nice looking shoe. Really cool 70s vibes on here, and just a nice colorway overall. This is a shoe that I've low-key been keeping an eye on, and honestly some colorways are pretty appealing to me. It's a good spring shoe, and it's fairly comfortable from everything that I've seen online. Another brand that I've been really feeling recently is Converse, and they had this pair of Converse, I want to say they're fast breaks. It's a low top basketball sneaker from the 80s, can't go wrong with that. That is literally the definition of almost all the shoes that I own, so another one is never a bad idea. Honestly, wasn't seeing anything too crazy here. I was starting to get pretty disappointed. I don't know if people are planning these shoes at their Ross or not, or just my luck was not hitting today. But hey, you win some, you lose some. I've had a lot of comments on my previous videos that I've faked the stuff that I put there. And guys, trust me, I'm not. Everything that I show you here is authentic. Just, that's the Soul Therapy way. So this video should show you the full picture, the wins, the losses, everything that comes with content creation, especially in the sneaker hemisphere. I spotted this Chris Paul Phoenix Suns jersey, and it low-key made me kind of sad with how bad the Suns are doing, especially with the star-studded roster that they've acquired. Now, I'm not one for graphic tees, but this Magneto t-shirt, low-key, this was pretty hard. It had a high-quality, all-over print graphic, and I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to clothing and like the GSM. This felt really nice, and it wasn't lightweight, didn't feel cheap at all. Not a bad little shirt, especially if you're a fan of Magneto. But then you had the less enticing stuff, like this Hellcat hoodie. Yeah, I don't have words for that. I noticed these camo pants, and they were really nice looking, but they seemed to be extremely short, so it had me thinking, yep, my intuition was right. This was a woman's size. Checked the sunglasses, and yeah, nothing was too eye-catching. Couple other pairs of fake Birks. I decided to check out the women's stuff, because maybe, just maybe, this is where the heat was. They had some Vapor Maxes, off to a pretty decent start, and some Air Max 1s in this all-over neon green colorway. A little yucky looking in my opinion, but not too bad. They had some Vans, looked like to be a hiking trail shoe, and a lot of imitation trendy sneakers, like this low-top leopard print sneaker is clearly trying to be a Samba, but is just not quite there. Which, hey, if you want to save your money and you're achieving 90% of the same look, by all means just go for it. Like, being a sneakerhead is not defined by the price of the shoes that you have under feet, it's the passion that you have for the actual game. That's at least how I view it. There's some people who definitely see it as more of a collecting and value thing, which, you know what, that's cool if they want to be like that. That is just not for me. By this point, I think we spotted pretty much all the notable footwear in this women's section. It didn't have anything left to give. Wanted to check out some of the wall decor. Had some pretty cool looking stuff, and just check out this dog with glasses. Seems like a chill dude. Sometimes the toy selection could be cool for some collectibles that you're trying to spruce your room up. I love Back to the Future. It's actually my favorite movie of all time, so this was a pretty cool find. As a little kid, I was also a Sonic fan, so seeing this stage that I believe is from Sonic Mania recreated as a toy is pretty cool. At this point, morale was kind of low. We left empty-handed, and we had already hit a bunch of Rosses. I don't know if we're gonna find anything worthwhile, but things were about to change with our next Ross, which so happens to be our final Ross, and this is located off Pulaski Road for anyone interested. And boom, we got some Jordan 2 lows in a size that is not humongous. Now, admittedly, they had these priced at $75, which if you go on StockX right now, these are below that. But they were a size 10.5, and that is a good start. The Jordan 2 low gets some unnecessary slack. I think it's a really looking shoe, and I know, you guys say they look like bowling shoes, but hey, sometimes you want to pop out in bowling shoes. Once again, I've come across these ugly ass Nikes. I don't know who was thinking, why was this approved? This should be burned, I'm sorry. If someone could pull off a fire fit with those, I'll give you $10. Once again, more Trae Youngs, and I feel like if you're a signature athlete and you walk into a Ross and you see your shoes, you gotta be a little bit sad, I'm not gonna lie. Then I spotted these Nike trainers in my size. Now we are cooking. This was a pretty cool colorway too, definitely gave me like sunset vibes. Spotted some KDs, huge size, easy money colorway, fire shoe. At this point, things were looking up. This location has not failed me in the past, and today it was showing why it's earned its stripes. See what I did there? Just pointed to an Adidas shoe. Alright, I'll retire. But yeah, I had to make sure that I checked every aisle thoroughly because I knew I was gonna slip up and miss something if I didn't. I spotted some more Nike training shoes, and these looked mad comfortable. Just look at that foam stack. This is a perfect time to mention, if you guys are loving this video, make sure to join the Soul Therapy Discord community. It'll be the first link down below. We would love to have you there. I found some more not Jordan 14s. I was tricked once again, unfortunately. But on the bright side, they had a pair of Sabrinas, and this was a size that I could wear. It was like a size 13 women's that roughly translate to an 11.5 men's, and it's an amazing performer. Then we found these Nike Dunk Lows with this crocodile pattern. These are low-key gas, and yes, this is a women's shoe that they put in the men's section, but hey, it's still a dope looking shoe. And by far, the best Trae Youngs we've seen are these. Nice brown colorway with a gum bottom. I'm a sucker for the gum bottom, I'm not gonna lie. Then I thought for a brief second we stumbled across Pandas. And I guess these are close enough. These are like the Panda 2.0s. I remember when these first dropped. Just honestly, not it, but hey, it's something, guys. It's something, come on. Another pair of women's Jordan 2 lows. These are pretty cool. They had them reduced pretty cheap. Then I spotted some Donovan Mitchell basketball sneakers. Now, I had the Don issue 2s and absolutely loved that shoe, but I tried playing in the 3 and 4s and absolutely hated them. They hurt my feet so badly, so I had to pass on those. Now it's time to go through the aisles to see if I could find anything notable when it came to apparel. I was just seeing standard Nike shirts and Columbia stuff, some Puma windbreakers, you know, the typical stuff. And then I came across this Paul George Clippers jersey, and Paul George has been in the headlines recently. Not for great news. I mean, he quit his podcast to lock in, but his team is already doomed, so I guess too little too late. Then I peeped this Ed Hardy shorts with the Hardy in a pretty strange spot, I'm not gonna lie. After this, I was really in need of a chill session. Yeah, guys, I'm announcing right now, this is gonna be my last video. It's been nice knowing ya. And then they had this Death Row workwear style jacket. I just find anything Death Row branded pretty corny, not gonna lie. This Dickies t-shirt was pretty chill, and low-key Dickies has some nice quality stuff. Don't be sleeping on them. And yeah, if you're ever in need for basketballs or socks for the low, just go to Ross. You can find some cool stuff. They had a bunch of Louis Vuitton and The Rock. But I peeped this Sonic figurine, and I've been looking to add more personal touches to the collection, so for $7, that was low-key a cop. So after all this time, we finally found something that was worthwhile. And I know, it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but hey, that's kind of what Ross is. You're not going to find entirely what you're looking for at a Ross. You're going to find some stuff that's pretty ugly looking, and then you're going to find some stuff that's pretty mid, and then every once in a while you come across a gem that happens to remind you of some good times or memories. As a kid from a Latino family, I was forced into these kind of stores a lot of times during my childhood, and every once in a while I would come across something that I genuinely really wanted. So after all this, I can't stay mad at Ross. Even though we didn't find anything crazy today, it was still a fun experience and brought me back some good memories. Follow for more soul therapy.